So I was one of the second intakes for the Kura Kaupapa Māori degree, which was it's called the Kura Takiura, which was used to be at Epsom campus, which is I think it might be still there. Way back in the early 90s, and so it was a relatively new movement, which I didn't sort of think about at the time, because there was only regular teaching degrees back then, so this was a new approach. So it was a total immersion Māori course, so all concepts and principles and curriculum were in Māori, and because we were one of the guinea pigs, I guess you could say, we were still kind of testing out some of the areas for the curriculum development. So I did the 3-year diploma. It was a diploma, I think it might be still called a diploma now. Well, it was kind of a progression, I think, from when I went to school myself. I was at a Māori orientated school, which was Queen Victoria, and that was all around enhancing young Māori women to be Māori leaders and that type of thing. So learning the Māori language and tikanga and principles and customs, it was just part of what we did. So it kind of felt like a natural thing for me to continue with that line. And I think when I started doing my own studies later on, I went to do the Atarangi course, just to fix up my idea a bit more, and learnt a little bit more about the education system. When I was at school myself, I didn't realise how much of a deficit there was with Māori and non-Māori learning and educational outcomes, and I felt like I wanted to do something to help bridge the gap, because I knew I saw a lot of Māori struggling, especially in my whānau, who had never done any tertiary study before. I was the first in my family to do that, and I knew that it was a struggle for them to get good employment, to enhance opportunities in their lives, because they didn't have the education behind them. So I thought by being a teacher in a kaupapa setting, a kaupapa Māori setting, I could provide students with better opportunities to learn in a culture that's their own, so they're not having to assimilate into a completely different learning environment. They can just flourish in the environment that they know about. I think it made me feel really proud to be part of the movement, and it wasn't until maybe 10 years down the track that I realised how much of a huge impact it was to have things such as Kura Kaupapa and Kohanga Reo movements in place that were there to revitalise Te Reo Māori, and it made me feel proud to be part of that movement.
Wonderful.
It was fun. It was just like being at home, like with my whānau, because where I went to work was partly my marae at Whānau Waititi. I am actually from Ngāti Whātua, Ōrākei, but I had a lot to do with Whānau Waititi growing up as a little kid. I used to go to language classes with my auntie, and my uncle Peter Sharples, had a lot to do with the marae, so I joined the kapahaka group there. So I think just having that whanaungatanga where the teachers support the children in their learning, I think that actually provides a much better opportunity for them to learn, because they're there because they want to be there, because it's just going home kind of thing. It's just being in an environment that's familiar to them, so learning isn't going to be a scary thing. So I think that would enhance the literacy there.